So we have a pretty eventful chapter here. So we're coming to Seiko's group at the airport going to Shimane with Momo, Zuma, and Daiki. They're all suffering from effects of the cursed trunk, the Danmara, which they went into in the last arc to play that board game with the fairy tale card and all that stuff. So now the residual effects of the curse are like speeding up, and we're getting to this ticking clock to where people are now forgetting about Momo's existence altogether, aside from her just being small. Zuma is like losing his eyesight completely, and Daiki is getting even older now, to the point of where he can't walk anymore. So, of course, they're going to Shimane in an attempt to try to reverse this curse. Because Seiko found out, in I think chapter 176, that there's like this magic hammer at a shrine in Shimane that could undo this, essentially. And I'll read what exactly is said. So, apparently there was like this inch-high samurai who was famous in Japanese folklore. And he was like fighting a demon or something, and the demon dropped this hammer, this magic hammer, the Uchide no Kozuchi. And when the inch-high samurai swung it, it made him big. And now it's said that the hammer is in possession of the deity Daikokuten, which apparently is one and the same as the great god Okunanushi. And where that deity is worshipped is at the Izumo Grand Shrine in Shimane. So I guess that's like the long and the short of it. We have a new MacGuffin here in the form of the magic hammer, which they're going to go try to get. And I guess Momo will swing it and it'll make her big again, and then people will remember her, possibly. And I guess this is like a cure-all for just the curse in general, because Zuma and Daiki aren't small. Like, they're going blind and getting old, so the hammer works for them as well. I mean, this is kind of touched on in chapter 182 before they, start to make their way to the airport, because Zuma and Daiki show up, and Seiko's like, you people come along too. It's probably an effect of the same curse that's on Momo. So, I guess, there's like another aspect to this whole thing, because when all of the stuff going on with Rin getting abducted by Murakami in the gym, that whole big stretch of chapters that we just got over, when that's brought up to Seiko, she's like, no, we can't delay leaving. There's going to be a super moon tomorrow, and we need to be in time for the hours of the ox on the day of the super moon. So I guess the super moon during the hours of the ox, maybe that plays into the reversal of the curse in some way too. It's important since it was mentioned here, but anyway. In the beginning here, like I said, people are starting to forget Momo. As we saw in the previous chapter, Vamola started to forget her, and now even Seiko is starting to forget Momo, which is insane. So it's not really like, I guess, bond that a person has. I think it really depends on like spiritual energy or whatever, because Gigi is remembering her. And obviously Seiko has a much stronger bond to Momo than Gigi does. He even says in this chapter, my spiritual power is strong, so maybe I can sense you better than the others. I guess that's what it ultimately comes down to. So everyone who doesn't have strong spiritual energy or like a yokai power or something is going to forget Momo, essentially. If Seiko forgot her at this point, I guess Okarun is currently in the process of forgetting about her, or completely forgot about her already, which is really interesting when you think about it, because in the previous chapter, Momo was like worried about everyone forgetting her, and then we saw Okarun with Aira, and she was like, doing Aira stuff with him. So I wonder if that's going to create like this divide between them once everything comes back together. I think that would be interesting going forward, especially since at the end of the Danmara arc, Okarun professed his love for her. So that would be a good way to delay that storyline. So then we just cut away from all of this stuff, but we're still at the airport, and we suddenly go into like Raya's backstory. Raya is like Zuma's right-hand man in the gang that he used to have, I guess you can call him. I don't know why he's here other than just delivering this exposition, I suppose. And maybe they need him for what's going to happen on the plane, which we'll talk about, of course. But he has like Daiki. And Daiki's like, why are you helping me? And long story short, he's like, well, because I thought that you were responsible for Zuma going inside of the Danmara, and I love Zuma. Zuma's the greatest guy ever. And then we get this flashback of like how Zuma helped all of these kids that were having troubles at home or at school, or they were getting bullied or whatever, and Raya was one of them. And then there's like that one girl and the other guy from Zuma's gang, I forget their names, but apparently they were like addicted to Robitussin or something. What is this like? It looks like allergy medicine or cough medicine or something. Like, you know, you could buy over the counter and take all the pills in the box. And I really can't go any more into that because I think it might trigger something in the YouTube algorithm. But obviously don't do that. But I mean, they even like, you know, echo that sentiment in this chapter. Like, hey, that stuff's gonna kill you. And then Zuma like only accepts them into his gang once they declare that they're not going to do that stuff anymore. Anyway, let's just move on. The whole point of this is that Zuma is the greatest guy ever. He's saved all of these delinquent kids. Rhea is one of them. So that's why he's ride or die for him. And I'm not against it. Zuma is great. He's one of the best characters in the series. I hope that he gets his sight back and he's at full strength because he's a great addition to the cast and to the power system. But anyway, we come to the end of the chapter here and we see like this news report that there's these men that escaped from jail. And it's the Ketos. The Ketos, who you might remember were introduced at the end of season 1. Those were the guys at the hot spring, you know, in that scene. And that's where season 2 is going to pick up with these characters because they're back now. I guess you can call them the Subterraneans. I don't know if they're all, I guess they're all Subterraneans, right? Because it was revealed that Naki, the woman here, does the Jennifer Lopez Anaconda Decoration English attack. Her true form is this thing. This subterranean creature, which I guess is a cryptid. It might be a yokai. I don't know if it's explained. But anyway, they're back after like 150 chapters or whatever. I was wondering what was going on, if she was going to come back. And yep, they're back now. And they're going to be on the same plane that Seiko's group is going to be on. And as we see, of course, they are targeting Gigi and Momo, who Naki can still remember. So I guess it is like a spiritual power thing. So maybe she's like a yokai and not a cryptid? Or do cryptids have spiritual power? I don't know if it's explained. But clearly they're trying to get revenge for being defeated and stopping their whole worm harvesting ritual thing that they were doing for like 200 years or something. So this is going to be really interesting because this is like a full-blown fight on a plane, which was really fun in Sakamoto days. Back in the pre-JCC arc, if you followed that. I don't know if you did. But anyway, we've got Evil Eye and Zuma on the plane. Those are the two big powerhouses here. Zuma, of course, losing his vision, but I guess he could still transform into Brella Boy and fight. And then Evil Eye, of course, who I think still has that restriction on him as to where he can only fight if he's fighting Okarun or something, right? Or maybe he fought after that when Okarun wasn't around, but that's definitely going to come into play here. This should be, like I said, really interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing what's happening because the plane adds a much more interesting element to this. So while they're on their way to Shimane, we're going to have the Kita family versus Seiko's group. So that should be fun. Let me know what you think about this in the comments, guys. And if you liked the video, please give it a like and please subscribe if you haven't already. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.